Welcome to our series where we discuss the latest real estate trends with Canada's most prominent business leaders, asking better questions to help build a better working world. This is Reimagining Real Estate. I'm William Yeager, a partner at EY Canada. In my role, I explore the newest real estate trends influencing the country's largest industry and ask the better questions that keep us ahead of the curve. In this episode, I speak with Ravi Mann, president and co-founder of Perpetual Capital Partners, an innovative real estate private equity firm that invests in and actively manages institutional quality real estate development projects on behalf of individual investors. Ravi, it's great to be speaking with you today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's get right into it. Perpetual's investment thesis centers around Metro Vancouver. Given the current market conditions, how do you assess that market or Western Canada in general as it stands today? And what's your outlook for 2023 and beyond?
Well, between inflation and interest rates, there's certainly a lot going on in the market right now. But the theme for the year ahead, as far as we're concerned, is just keep calm and carry on. We still trust the market fundamentals that informed our investment thesis from the very beginning. Metro Vancouver land development is subject to an inherent supply-demand imbalance that's going to underpin the strength of that industry for many years to come. Add on top of that Metro Vancouver is inherently supply constrained with the U.S. border to the south, Pacific Ocean to the west, mountains to the north, and the agricultural land reserve that essentially serves as an eastern boundary. Add on top of that, world-class livability. We're a global gateway city, incredibly strong development. So suffice it to say that notwithstanding short-term market cycle fluctuations, the year ahead and the years ahead for development in Metro Vancouver and similar markets that share those characteristics is quite good.
As an investment management firm that focuses extensively on real estate development projects, Perpetual is an incredibly unique offering. Perhaps you can explain how Perpetual works.
Well, Perpetual was founded on the principle that everyone should have access to the same wealth generating opportunities as the ultra high net worth or institutional investor. Now, typically speaking, land development investment opportunities have been almost exclusively reserved for these types of investors because they're either viewed as too risky or as requiring far more capital than is available to the typical investor. Now, at Perpetual, we know real estate development intimately because we are developers through Isle of Man Property Group. So by leveraging our knowledge and experience, we've identified distinct stages in the land development value creation process, so to speak, that naturally suit profiles of investors with varying degrees of risk tolerance. Now, from there, we've created these unique fund strategies based on an investor's risk tolerance that align with specific segments of that land development process. And these strategies have comparatively low minimum investment thresholds, some as low as $5,000 that are registered funds eligible, that is, RSPs, RESPs, TFSAs, and so on. So we can remove the barriers to entry for a typical investor, thereby making land development opportunities that much more accessible, not only for accredited investors, but typical investors as well.
So how does Perpetual Capital Partners fit into Isle of Man's overarching business strategy?
Perpetual was initially founded as a means for the principals of Isle of Man Property Group to invest our own RSPs, RESPs, TFSAs, registered funds in general, into our own projects. And also a means to accommodate investment by our own staff and friends and family to get them involved. And so we created this vehicle that was registered funds eligible and brought the minimum investment threshold way down to about $5,000 per unit. And very quickly, we realized that we've created an investment vehicle that would likely be attractive to the general public as well. And so as of January this year, that's precisely what we did. We launched to the public, and we have since secured our first project and are looking forward to executing that and demonstrating to the public the type of secured risk-adjusted returns that land development can generate for a typical investor.
What a truly unique story. And what does the year ahead look like for this partnership?
The year ahead is to simply grow Perpetual so it can take part in more Isle of Man developments, which will allow for more investors to take part in land development investment.
And as far as market expansion goes, how does Perpetual identify opportunities for investment that may perhaps fall outside of your traditional markets?
Well, let's look at one of our traditional markets, for example, Metro Vancouver. Vancouver is a global gateway city with the largest port in Canada, sixth largest in North America, ranked eighth best city in North America for tech talent, and third best city globally for quality of living. So the inherent fundamentals of an attractive market for investment is fundamentally there. And add on top of that, that it is naturally restricted in land supply by sheer virtue of its geographic location. Add on top of that, that there's just incredibly strong fundamentals for development. We typically assess a market based on investment in public infrastructure, population growth, and affordability. Of the top 20 cities ranked globally for quality of living, Metro Vancouver, believe it or not, among that peer group, is ranked the best in terms of affordability. So those are the kind of fundamentals we look for in a given market for development or real estate investment in general. When assessing new markets based on that kind of backdrop, Greater Toronto Area, for instance, has a lot of similarities in those characteristics. Also a global gateway city, also world renowned for its livability, diverse economy, similar to Metro Vancouver, inherently landlocked, just a tremendous amount of growth in there, and a lot of room to develop. So that's a really good litmus test for how we assess our markets. They have to be incredibly strong, ones that would very easily weather any kind of cyclicality we observe in the market.
So how do you plan on being opportunistic in the next 3 to 5 years?
Unless you're prepared to pay top dollar for every piece of land, opportunistic is just about all you can be in the real estate market, particularly in Canada. We plan on staying that way by maintaining deal flow, staying on top of mind in our brokerage community in terms of new deals that come up onto the market, hopefully circumventing any kind of market exposure, leveraging our reputation with Isle of Man to enhance that, and leverage our brand as reliable and fast deal makers to drive more deal flow to our desk and capitalize on more opportunities.
Excellent, really interesting. And any advice for commercial and residential real estate companies as they navigate a tumultuous economy in the months ahead?
I think my typical response to this question would be to, keep an eye out for the opportunities, because there's going to be lots of opportunities that make themselves available to capitalize on. Particularly if you staying flush with cash at this particular moment in the market cycle. I still stand by that, but I will caveat that a little bit by, in this rising interest rate environment, to look inward, assess your own portfolio, see where are these debt to equity ratios on all your assets, maybe not the most fun way to spend your money if you're sitting flush, but a prudent thing to do might be to pay down some debt that might need to get paid down in order to help weather any near or intermediate market fluctuations that we have been and may continue to observe in the market.
Ravi, thank you so much for your time and for telling us about Perpetual. Very insightful conversation.
Thank you so much for having me, William. It was an honor to be here to speak to you today. So thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching Reimagining Real Estate. Be sure to watch the rest of the videos in our series where we continue to ask better questions to help build a better working world.